For this week's lesson, we're going to be learning how to draw some not so scary scarecrows. We're going to use the lines and shapes that we have been reviewing in class, put them together to make our scarecrow drawing step by step. For this lesson, you need a piece of paper to draw on. White paper is fine, any size that you have. You need a pencil to draw with an eraser in case you make a mistake. And you'll need some sort of coloring materials, your choice. If you would like to use crayons, you can use crayons. If you'd like to use markers, you can use markers, or maybe some colored pencils too. You can also use all three and combine them together. Let's get started on our scarecrows. The first thing you want to do before starting your scarecrow is taking your drawing paper and turning it vertical, straight up and down. If you turn it vertical, straight up and down, you'll have plenty of room to fit your scarecrow and the start of the scarecrow's body. I'm going to go through drawing the scarecrow step by step, but the steps are also in the PowerPoint that was attached with your assignment. So you can use the video or the pictures in the PowerPoint to help you draw your scarecrow. The first step on drawing our scarecrow is starting with the shape of the scarecrow's head. So the shape of the head is going to be a curved line that almost looks like the letter U. So I'm going to find the center of my paper, not too low, not too high, right in the middle. And I'm going to draw a nice size curved U for the head of my scarecrow. Okay? Remember, I use a marker so you guys can see, but you should draw with a pencil so you can erase if you make a mistake and try again. Now that I have the head of my scarecrow, we're going to make the scarecrow's hat. So I'm going to go across the top of my head and I'm going to connect it by making a line that bends just a little bit, not completely straight. If you notice, it bends a little and it curves a little, so not completely straight across. I'm going to take the end of that line and I'm going to keep on curving until I touch the head. And I'm going to do that on both sides. This is the bottom of our scarecrow's hat. For the top of our scarecrow's hat, I'm going to put two curved lines together, almost like I'm making the letter M. So I'm going to come down towards the side of my hat, up, curve once, curve twice, and come down to the other side. Now we have the hat for our scarecrow. Let's give our scarecrow some hay or straw that we can use to make it look like the scarecrow's hair. To do that, I'm just going to use a zigzag line. So right underneath my hat, where the straw would show, I'm going to make a zigzag, and that's the pointy line that goes up and down and points like teeth or a mountaintop. It's almost like the letter V put together again and again. And there's some straw for my scarecrow. If you wanted the straw to be a little bit longer, I could also maybe make it come down more on the side. It'll look like there's more straw or hair showing underneath my scarecrow's hat. Let's start the body of the scarecrow, and then we'll come back to the face later on. So I have the head, and now I need my scarecrow's neck. So I'm going to do two straight lines, 1, 2, right in the middle underneath the head. Not too long, not too short. I'm going to connect them by making a curved line. Remember, that's the line that bends. Now I have a neck to my scarecrow. Now my scarecrow's arms are going to be straight out to the side, because usually when you see a scarecrow, they're standing in the fields with their arms out wide, and the crows land on their arms. So we're going to do straight lines, lines that don't bend, right from the neck out towards the side of my paper. Once and twice. I didn't go all the way to the edge because I want to leave some space so that I can add some straw when I finish the arms. I'm going to take that line and I'm going to bend it down a little straight line once and twice. And it almost looks like I'm making a rectangle. I'm going to almost make a rectangle. I'm just not going to close the shape. So I'm going to go right where I left off and come in once and twice. Notice I stopped I didn't connect them or go all the way in. I'm going to leave them open so that I can finish the rest of my Scarecrow's body. And to finish the body, I simply go from the line that I just made down to the bottom of the page, once and twice. Now I have the arms and the start of the Scarecrow's shirt or body. Now usually Scarecrows, they have overalls on like a farmer. So we're going to go right underneath the neck and we're going to make a couple of shapes so that this body shape turns into clothes. So right underneath, I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. That's the top of the overalls for the Scarecrow. Now I'm going to make the side part of the overalls by making a straight line that goes from the top of the arm to the bottom of the arm. Once and twice. And if you want to make a little pocket for the overalls, right here in the center, we're going to make a square. Remember, a square has 4 straight sides. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There you go. You can add more details to the Scarecrow's clothes later when you color. Before I forget, let's add some straw right at the end of our Scarecrow's arms, because Scarecrows are stuffed with straw and they usually stick out at the ends of their sleeves. So I'm going to make that same zigzag line that I made for the straw under the hat. I'm just going to do it a little bit shorter on the sides. So in and out are pointy lines. And if you want to fill up that straw, you can do it another time. There you go. Let's go back up to the head and make our Scarecrow's face. So right in the middle, we're going to make a nose, and we're going to make a nose using a triangle. A triangle has 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. We're going to make our 2 eyes with circles once and twice. And then I go back and color in a smaller circle in the middle. Underneath our nose, we're going to make a nice big smile. And I like to make the little cheeks on my Scarecrow. You don't have to, but if you want to, it's a circle right at the end of the smile on each side. Now, Scarecrows are usually made by sewing different materials together. And when you sew something, you get these little lines that are called stitches. So I'm going to add some stitches to my Scarecrow right by the mouth. And I'm just going to use my little straight lines, like when we make our dashes, our broken line. And I'm going to put a couple by the nose. And if you want, you could even put a couple by the pockets, like they were sewed on to your Scarecrow's clothes. Okay? Now, before we go back and color our Scarecrow, let's add some things to the background that go with the Scarecrow theme. Usually, Scarecrows are on a farm in a field because their whole purpose is that they scare away the birds from eating the farmer's crops. So if I think of things that would belong in a field on a farm, maybe I think of some grass. So maybe down below, I draw some tall grass. Again, it's a zigzag, and I stop when I hit the Scarecrow, and I pick up on the other side. We always stop when we hit something when we draw, because we can't see through things. So it's always either in front or behind it. In order to make that happen, I stop when I hit something. I don't draw through it. Maybe my Scarecrow is in a field with corn, and corn, it grows vertical, nice and tall. So maybe I come down to the grass and I draw a straight line up. I'm gonna stop when I hit that Scarecrow and keep going on the other side. That's our tall stalk of corn. Maybe it has those pointy leaves on the stalk. Again, it's just a little triangle. And maybe up top, I make a circle or an oval for the corn, and I make the little leaves right by it. Now to make this look more like corn, I'm going to add some crisscross lines. So I'm going to draw lines across first, horizontal, and then I'm going to draw lines down, vertical. There we go. I think I'm going to put another stalk of corn on the other side of my paper. So I'm going to do that one more time. Stop when I hit the scarecrow. Keep going on the other side. Add our pointy leaves to the stalk. And our oval or circle for the corn. Some more leaves below. And my lines in the corn across and up and down. Remember, you can stop this video as much as you want, even after each step, so that you can take your time with your drawing and catch up. There's no need to rush. Now, if a scarecrow is scaring away the crows, we have to make sure we put a crow in our picture. So let's put one right here on its arm. So we're going to use some simple shapes to make our crow. Let's start with a circle for our crow's head. Circle first, and a little dot for the crow's eye. Let's make an oval or a stretched out circle for our crow's body. And let's give our crow a triangle for the beak. There we go. He needs some feet, so I'm simply going to make some little lines that come down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And let's give him a wing. So we'll make a little curve for a wing. And I like to give my crow his feathers or his tail feathers. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And there's the crow sitting on my scarecrow's arm. Now, if you have room, you can make another crow on the other side if you want. Maybe you make a crow that landed on top of the corn. There's lots of possibilities. Maybe you put one on top of his hat. The crow could land anywhere, and there can be more than one in your picture. Now, before you start to color in your picture, maybe there's some extra things that you want to add to your scarecrow to make it a little bit different from mine and more like yours and your own ideas from your own imagination. So maybe you want to add a little flower to his hat. Maybe you want to add a little band across the top. Maybe you want to put the sun in the sky. It's a sunny day out in the field. Maybe you want to make a design on the shirt, like stripes. Right? Maybe you want to make more corn. There's lots of possibilities of things that you can add to your picture. When you are finished with your scarecrow drawing, you can color in your picture using the material of your choice. So if you want to use some crayons or colored pencils or markers, it's up to you. I used crayons to color in my scarecrow. I tried my best and took my time and stayed inside the lines as best as I could. And I thought about what color would look good for the scarecrow's face and the scarecrow's hay that also looks like his hair. Yellow or maybe orange or brown is great for the hay and also okay for the face. Think about your colors before you start coloring. Plan out your picture and take your time. Good luck with your scarecrows, and I can't wait to see what you do when you're done.